Shalom and welcome, family. Shalom and welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for tuning in to Achoti Speaks Live. This is our Black Thoughts and Reflection show. And like I said, I thank you for joining me. I am Achoti Jamar, and you're on Achoti Speaks Live. And we're going to delve into three particular topics today. Tulsa, Oklahoma reparations, case dismissed. John F. Johnson, Grandmaster J, appeal case. And also Janelle Monáe, identity agenda controversy. So, family, this is going to be a good one. I think I have two special guests that's supposed to be joining me if all goes well. I have Mr. Bobby Worthy of the NAACP, and most of my followers know Major Davis of Major TV, a YouTube creator and someone who has been boots on the ground in this movement that we call Black Liberation. So with that being said, for people, we're not going to hold you up. We're going to get right into the topics at hand. So by now, I'm sure you all know about the situation with the Tulsa, Oklahoma reparations. And, unfortunately, we had a judge who saw fit to play, I guess I would like to say, mental games with our people. She first told them that they could, in fact, proceed with their case, and she would, in fact, hear the case. But then, she had a sudden change of heart and just totally dismissed the case. So Achoti wants to bring to light something that you guys probably didn't see, and that is her explanation, or her lack thereof, of why she dismissed the case. Now, granted, the petitioners that represented the survivors of the Tulsa Race Massacre, they submitted a brief that was it was many pages. Let me see here, 23 pages. And in response to that brief, when they went to court, I believe that was last Friday, Judge, I believe her name is Caroline Walls. Yeah, Caroline Wall, okay? Right? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you can see what I'm reading. You're going to see what her decision was and how she made her ruling, right? So I got it up on the screen for us to take a look at. And basically, what it says here, it was filed on July 7th. And Don Newberry is the court clerk, state of Oklahoma, Tulsa County. So it says, upon review of the record and being fully advised in the premises, the court finds defendant's motions to dismiss plaintiff's second amended petition should and shall be granted upon the grounds set forth in the defendant's briefs filed of record. The court incorporates herein the order of the court filed August 3rd, 2022, as if fully set forth herein, and finds further amendment futile. Upon hearing the arguments from counsel and considering the briefs filed by counsel for plaintiffs, the counsel for defendants, the courts respectively finds and orders the plaintiff's Second Amendment petition should and shall be dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can't come back to her, right? So that means that she's laid the groundwork for them to appeal, and I do believe that that is what the attorneys for the survivors are seeking. So it says here, survivors of the Tulsa race massacre are expected to respond to a Tulsa court's judge decision to dismiss the public nuisance case against the city of Tulsa over the race massacre. Attorneys, survivors, and descendants will participate in a press conference, which they have already had. They had that on Monday. The case was filed in 2020, right? Plaintiffs argued survivors Leslie Randall, Hughes Van Ellis Sr., and Viola Fletcher should be paid for damages, but the defendants said the plaintiffs did not have a valid claim. The judge also blocked the case from being refiled. That's with prejudice. So here we are again, and I think that this judge is basically setting a case precedent on the lower court levels, and meaning that anyone else that may go into any court seeking relief under the guise of being wronged by the state under a nuisance case, and it is based on some type of racial undertones or I guess you could say from oppression. You file a suit against these people for oppression, which that's the public nuisance, in the form of violence that they did. Which what this judge Caroline Walls has done has given other judges permission, basically, to say no. I don't see, you don't have a valid case. You're not the actual people that were harmed, and so thus there's no way to pay back because that person is not here. That's what I'm reading from that. If I'm right, family, y'all could comment in the comment sections. I love to read your comments. But this case is like, I don't know if Miss Caroline Walls understands what she just did, but we're going to pray that the attorneys seek the right appeal, and so that their case can be finally heard. It's ludicrous to think that you can prove damages and you can have descendants and living survivors of that disaster say we have evidence to the fact that there was a harm caused, and the judge just blatantly with one paragraph just dismiss based on the defendant's so-called brief, but she didn't mention any details that was found in the defendant's so-called brief that led her to pass this judgment. So definitely, I do believe that the DOJ should be involved because of the way that this woman moved the system, right? The way that this woman had these people come in, wait almost a whole year after saying that she would hear the case. The case comes up, and then she dismissed it. That's ludicrous. I think she should definitely be looked into, investigated, for sure. And so we as a people, melanation, where do we go from here in the cases of reparations? We have to find someone that can file a suit against the government on our behalf, but I think that suit has to be ironclad. I can't fathom how. I say again, I can't fathom how the evidence that was brought forth by the defendants of the survivors was not even given a day in court to be heard by a jury or a bench trial judge, right? So that was very disappointing, and they were very disappointing. And I contacted Sheila Jackson Lee's office because she's the representative, the House representative that has the bill for reparations for on the federal level. It's sitting in Congress. It's been sitting in Congress for years, right? Decades, right? And I called her office for a statement since she was down there in Tulsa during the 100-year commemoration of the Tulsa attack. And her office told me, number one, she wasn't available for comment, but her office also told me that they were not aware that she had released an official statement. And I thought that that was kind of strange. Such a big case come down, and Sheila Jackson Lee, who's supposed to be the author of picking up the baton to push the reparations bill along in Congress, she has no statement. I'm gonna give her a moment. I left my email so she can send us the statement, and if in fact she does send a statement, I will gladly share it with you in an update. But I just thought that that was so weird and so like not what justice supposed to look like. So I don't know, family. We have to deal with the hands that we've been dealt with, but like the attorney said, they are not giving up, and I'm glad that they're not. Uh, we're grateful for the appeals process, and so with that being said, we're going to kind of switch gears right now, and we're going to bring in our brother, Mr. Bobby Worthing, because he is going to give us an update on the Grandmaster J case. And hopefully, we can see what the brother is saying and maybe good news to our ears. And Grandmaster J may be coming home. So we're going to take a listen to what Mr. Bobby Worthy has to say. And just a few seconds, give me one.
But all right, y'all, peace and peace, black power. Well, um, when Jay, let's first make a long story short. When Jay was first arrested, and after he got out on bond, we conversated a lot, and then we actually filed the paperwork that I need to file now. That I'm be presenting to the federal government that will actually free Jay if they go by rules and regulations of the law. And it's called a jurisdictional challenge, where the federal government that most of attorneys know, but they won't present it or won't challenge the system, mainly because they are officers of the courts, and if they challenge the system, then they can be held. They can lose their bar license, or they can come at them in an adverse, in any kind of way, as they have done me and many others, as a retaliation. But Jay is unlawfully incarcerated. because what you got to realize, the federal government, in order to arrest, indict, and or prosecute inside one of the Union states, they must meet certain requirements of the 10th Amendment Interstate Commerce Clause. And one or two of those requirements, one of those is two of the requirements, they either meet one or either both of those requirements. And the requirements are if they have to prove, the government have to prove that the alleged crime that happened on it is they own the land that the alleged crime happened on, or it was in interstate commerce, as in the Lopez decision, where a gun was bought in a gun-free zone of a school. But basically, in a nutshell, they have to meet one or either both of those requirements before they can even arrest you, indict you, or prosecute you when inside one of the Union states. This is why the federal government is a different entity than the state government. So with that said, the jurisdictional challenge has already been filed in Jacksonville Duval Court. So I'm just going to push the issue and then start challenging the illegal incarceration of Grandmaster Jay. I'm sending him a letter out this week. He does know that the paperwork has been filed before he was incarcerated, because we both anticipated this happening anyway. So we just never pushed the paperwork. There's a right time for everything. And it's now that time. Well, basically, Jay was a presidential candidate at one time. He is a person that brought us together in a number that has never been done before. And meaning in numbers that has never done before. That itself is a proof of leadership when you can get that many black folks to follow another black man. That's proof of leadership. Jay has always been a straight up guy to me. There's a lot of stuff going on by Jay, the police and all that. That's everybody's own permission. That's their own belief, what they want to believe and all that. I know him as a soldier. I know him as a brother, a comrade that put together a movement that we are needed, and we need to do everything we can to protect him and to free him, especially from an unlawful and illegal incarceration. Well, you can't know because really you don't know an appeal. Appeal can take anywhere from 6 months to 5-6 years. Appeal is not, it's another ball game. And no, the appeal does not affect Biden's decision. The appeal will be simply if he dismiss it. If Joe Biden or any president and stepped in and pardoned him, then the appeal would disappear. Anything on that case will also be dismissed automatically. So no, the appeal would not affect his decision at all. Under legal terms, terminology, no, it was not. It would not affect his appeal because the pardon would dismiss every part of that case, and that would be even the appeal. It would be automatically dismissed. Because the fact is, I know that what he did, I've got pictures, several pictures. Officers always pointing guns at people. We was in Ferguson, I got pictures of officers pointing guns in the crowds. So why is these people not in jail? What's the difference between them and Grandmaster Jay? Except one is a police officer and white, and the other one is black and not a police officer. So is it favoritism or racism? I let everybody be the judge. I'm sure you know what it is. But I'm about truth and justice. I'm about what's right and what's supposed to be done. And you mentioned something about somebody writing letters. Let me explain something to you about the letters you just mentioned. The person that's over the GoFundMe. I don't know who that is. But writing letters is not going to get it. I assure you. These people get hundreds and hundreds of thousands of mail a day. That is an effort that's okay and that may possibly work, but in my opinion, and I've been doing this for 3 decades, they ain't gonna do but throw them letters under the door. It's a waste of time. It is until you push that ink pen, not letters, but that ink pen, to file paperwork against them. All this writing, the lawyers and writing these people, some of them things them people probably just throw in the trash. So that's all right. If you feel that it will help and work, but I assure you it's not. It's that paperwork. It is that ink pen that they used to take you. It is the ink pen that they used to take Jay from us and his family. And it's the ink pen that we need to use to take Jay back. Ain't no letters and marching and protests gonna do it. Mm-hmm. Well, it's not. Well, it's not a claim. A jurisdictional challenge is challenging the government's authority. Then, and for one, as I said, the government, in order for the government to come inside one of the union states to make an arrest, to indict, and or prosecute for a crime, they must meet the requirements of the 10th Amendment Interstate Commerce Clause, in which that is first you must have proved that the government must prove they own the land that the alleged crime happened in, right? Or they can prove interstate commerce, meaning he crossed state line, he was on a U.S. highway or an interstate highway. And I need to plug my phone up real fast before it dies. Hold on. But that's the main issue. They got to meet one or either both of those requirements. And people know this, and this is what the government will say. Well, local authorities will say, well, we called them in and we deputized them. No, you can't deputize federal government agents, not inside the union states. It's still they must meet the same requirements. You can invite them in all you want to. They have no jurisdiction until they can prove those two things, the 10th and the 10th Amendment, either one or both. They have to prove it. If they can't prove that, and that was decided in Lopez's decision, where a gun was brought into a school zone, a gun-free zone, and they tried to arrest him, and it did not extend in the powers of Congress in the case. So basically, the Congress did not have power. They didn't have interstate commerce. They could not prove that the gun crossed state line. Hello? Hello? Oh, okay. Why you ain't tell me that? I'm messing up. Hold on, I gotta keep it looking good. No, 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 no. No. That what I'm saying is there was a federal charge. The Fed did not have the authority to make the arrest and indict or even try to prosecute. It didn't meet the requirements of the 10th Amendment and the State Commerce Clause. Yes, it was a federal. Yeah, Lopez. You Google Lopez decision. Yeah, it was a federal case. Well, then the Fed. Go ahead. Well, the Fed does have what they call dual sovereignty. And this is something that if I win the NAACP president, that I'm going to challenge to change with all the state Georgia State Conference and the national NAACP is to affect change to. There was a case that was not too maybe 3-4 years ago that would have proved that the Fed, because see the Fed come in and the Fed say if you got a state crime, you can dual sovereignty means that the federal government, after you serve the state time, then the Fed can charge you for the same crime. It's called dual sovereignty and it's legal and legit. But if you challenge them with the jurisdictional challenge, it won't be legal or legit. That no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just using that as an example. I don't know. I don't think the state is going to prosecute him. At least I haven't seen anything on it. But they can. Mm. Yes, not the federal conviction. This is what got him in jail now. Now the state could come back and say, "Hey, well, we're gonna punish him too," but the federal government doesn't have the authority. The state could have that authority. It can have that authority to do that, but the Fed, under the federal level, which he's in a federal crime, charged with a federal crime, not a state crime. And since he's charged with a federal crime, then they got to meet the requirements of their law, their Constitution, their 10th Amendment, their Interstate Commerce Clause. But they've been doing it so long that they're comfortable with doing it. It's just like a thief. You're going to get comfortable. You're going to keep stealing until you get caught. So they done got caught now. No, it was pointing at a federal agency, pointing and banishing a weapon at a federal law enforcement officer, and it was something else. I had to look at it in the way they had it worded, but it's banishing a weapon, reckless endangerment, like under federal charges. So. The state, Georgia State Conference president. grand jury. Yes. No, not on this. Not on this. On this, we're not using the grand jury. And because of my, I don't want to say it, but because of the things I'm limited on doing, because of my bond conditions, I can't, that's a different ball game. But the jurisdictional challenge is challenging what he's incarcerated for now. And he's in federal custody, not state custody. So dealing with the state is a different ball game. And then the thing about it is the type of stuff that I teach and the things I do, people don't realize you don't have to be an attorney to do it. You don't have to have an attorney. You don't have to be an attorney to file a writ of mandamus. You don't have to be an attorney to file a writ of habeas corpus. You don't have to be an attorney to file a quanto one. You don't have to be an attorney to file a civil suit for yourself. You don't have to be an attorney to petition the grand jury. You don't have to be an attorney to file criminal charges on any public officials. And all a writ of mandamus is to force the hand of a public official to do the duties entrusted to them. Simple. Simple things that we don't do to like to read. And this is what I'm going to do as the Georgia State Conference president, is to teach all the branches, the local branches, the executive boards of the local branches, local presidents within the state of Georgia, and eventually out into North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida, and eventually national, to teach them how to file these type of paperwork legally and lawfully that they can file to take it to the next level. And that's where the NAACP is allowing, and it's lacking now, is because when people file complaints with them, they lack the ability to take it any further because they lack the knowledge and understanding of these procedures. This is why I say all the time, if you're an attorney, like the current president of the NAACP for Georgia State Conference, if you're an attorney and you're not using it for the benefits of the organization, then why even be in the NAACP? Give somebody else that has that hunger, that wants to do things for somebody, and not sit around and I have a dream speeches and talking about I'm sick and tired and I'm not going to take it no more. I'm sick and tired of hearing people say that I'm sick, we're not going to take it no more. You say it at every event. It's time to move to the next level. For there's some more I have a dream speeches, as I said, for I am the solution. Mm-hmm. Well, see, this is the problem where I said in my campaign that I'm targeting police and government accountability. See, the Constitution, their Constitution, was written to protect the people from the power and oppression of an overbearing government, to keep them from being abusive over other individuals. But they have switched that round. They have turned that round on us, and they actually they are using the Constitution to protect them. The Constitution was never ever written to give them immunity, judicial immunity, qualified immunity, or 11th Amendment immunity. It was never ever made for that. It was written to protect the people, not the government. And they have twisted that around, and we have allowed it because we don't read. And most of us, the ones that are licensed attorney, knows this, but they won't challenge it. Ben Crump, none of them. Gerald Griggs, our state president for the NAACP, none of them won't challenge what they're supposed to challenge, because they know these people will step in and prove Where organized crime in America begins is with the state bar. The state bar of every state is where organized crime begins, because they are in ones that empower the judges and the lawyers to do, the prosecutors to do all the dirt they do. So therefore, organized crime in this country starts with the state bar within the state that you live in. And now if these attorneys overstep their little bound and get out of that box and challenge it the wrong way, all they're going to do is suspend their license and take their livelihood. And I understand, I have friends that they have taken their license because they challenged the RS or they challenged the government on something. But, and I understand that, but you can't be real if you're not willing to sacrifice yourself and what you work for. If you ain't willing to die and stand up for what you believe in this country, even all us love Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? But nobody want to, we always talk about that I have a dream speech, but nobody want to hear the speeches when he said he feared that he integrated his people into a burning furnace, burn house. You know, and it's just, they don't understand that. And even Martin said, if you're not willing to live, if you're not willing to die for what you believe and for those you love, then you are not worth living. I mean, I'm sure they got some rule or regulation they use, because they always do. Like most Christians, they all use the Bible. They always come up to justify their twisted ways. They can always find one Bible verse to protect them and think what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's no different. It's the mindset. I've been saying it all the time. In everything that go on in this world, it's the mindset. If we ain't gonna change the mindset, ain't nothing else gonna change. Nothing until we change the mindset. The government gonna keep doing what they're doing, and we're gonna keep doing what we're doing. Because the body, and then we can gather with armies, even like Jay. When Jay brought all these black guys together, armed soldiers together, that was great. But if ain't now one of them, and that if all their minds are different and not in the same category, then you waste your time. That march was fruitless, because you got to change the mindset. Now, with that said, when Jay, this is what a real soldier does. A real soldier, if our leader gets knocked down like Jay, then that every soldier in there should be able to step up and perform the job that Jay did. They should have continued it. Instead, they allowed them to dismantle them. Therefore, their mindset was not right, and they wasn't ready for it. They needed a leader. So because they only know how to follow. But you must become a follower before you become a leader. So if you become a follower, if you become a leader before you're a follower, then when they stop you from following, then you going to fall off. Because you don't know how to take it no more. It's the mindset. All them guys, go ahead. Huey P. Newton, all of them was in there. Well, no. And when the impact happened, it was a great thing, but it wasn't. Even if they wouldn't have took Jay down, it still wouldn't have lasted. It wouldn't have lasted because we don't have the mindset. We're not ready. We're not structured. See, this is what people understand. See, white supremacist groups are well-armed, well-structured, and well-organized. Believe me. And we are not ready for any kind of conflict with any. Look what happened at the Capitol building. Now just think, if those people would have been armed, what kind of damage they would have did. And see, they wasn't all on Facebook showing their training techniques. They wasn't all on Facebook telling where they're going to meet at and doing all that. They just went and did it. And look what they did. And they wasn't even armed. Some of them had weapons, but they didn't use them. Just think of all them people would have been armed. Look at Charlottesville. What happened in Charlottesville? We are not ready. It's because most of us are fake and not real with it. Because we want to go on Facebook and all these social medias and show our training techniques and doing this and we doing that, doing the work. And then I see a lot of them. This is my gun, my armor room. Really? Mindset. You're gonna sit there and say, this is your armor room. You know what you just did? So if the police have to come to your house, you just put your family at risk for your stupidity and ignorance. No one has to know what you are doing or what you got in your house. But if the police see you got all that and they come into your house, you just put your wife and your kids and your family at risk for your stupidity and ignorance, because when they come, they're going to come hard because you got all that stuff in that house. It's the mindset. It's our human nature that overrules everything in our life. It's a human nature that overrules your love for yourself, the love for you have for your very own children. It is your human nature that overrules even your faith in your religion, because all religions that are in this world today are based on faith, not facts, and they all do things that their religion requires them not to do. So it's the mindset they have trained us in. And Minister Farrakhan said it long. It is religion in this country that divides us. We have to get the youth. We have to do this. In 10 years, the solution I have is in 10 years, if we sanction rap music, like we haven't shown this before, it's rap music. Once we sanction the rap music of today, that's destroying the black neighborhoods, it promotes everything that's destroying the black neighborhoods, and now it's filtering into the white neighborhoods. The rap music of today is it is not the only thing, but is the core behind the destruction of our people. Don't ban it forever. I say in 10 years. In 10 years, it will start changing. You got kids. Yes, you got children. I got a 15. She's 16 now. And she's been in juvenile for doing this. And you see all the girls doing it, little girls doing it. My daughter done it. I've seen it. I've gotten on her. My nieces, cousins, they're doing it. This is not a peace sign, people. See? This is a gang. When you spin these hands at the bottom, it's a gang sign. This is a peace sign when you fold the hands. But they do this, and where they get it from? Rap music. Rap music has this 15-year-old girl in juvenile, and she's been in there since Thanksgiving of last year, and the judge is not bowing down. They got it for gang affiliation. So y'all sit down there. I see grown men and women doing the same thing with their daughters and got their little kids, 3 and 4 years old. Thing. It's the mental state of slavery that's destroying us, and the rap music is promoting it. Yeah. Her and her mama. Her mama in jail too. They was with the other known gang members doing this in several pictures. So they arrested the gang members and they got her in there. And she, and then 2-3 years ago, they had a high school football star, athlete going everywhere. The boy missed his whole senior year, and now he's in prison. Did not get to graduate for gang affiliation because he's hanging with gang members. So where's the mom and dad at when you out here hanging with known gang members and you an athlete getting ready to go to college? Serious mental state of slavery, and all All that is backed up and promoted by this rap music, Boosie and all these guys. You know what I'm saying? And I know these guys, and I understand they're making money. That's fine. But at what expense that you make money to destroy the mindset? And my age and people there, we're already in a mindset. And it's not going to change. We're going to have to change the mindset of our children. But if you got your children at 3 and 4 years old listening to these rap music, talking about B's and H's and N's and all this word and all that there, then they're going to grow up in a serious mental state of slavery. Now, if you wait till they 12 and 13 when they got their mind is all right and they leveled off and they know how to think for themselves, then you'll be all right. But if you're listening to music at 3 and 4 years old, you riding down the road with your baby in the car, and all they hear is B's, H's, B's, and all this him, and your baby them growing up on that, what you think finna happen? Well, you can go to all my pages, social media, Bobby Worthy. You'll see my pictures on that thing. My pictures, my symbol, the Justice League United. I'm from the National Judge Advocate General for the Justice League United, a human rights organization that I founded some years ago that attack injustice at the level that no one has ever attacked before. You know, I'm not me myself. We are the ones that, and my co-defendant that got Jackie Johnson in the Ahmaud Arbery case indicted and arrested with the role that she played, the district attorney played in the Ahmaud Arbery case. It was mine. It was not the NAACP. It was not the Dream Defenders and all these people claiming all the fame that brought the national attention to the Ahmaud Arbery case. It was I. It was me that brought the attention. It was me and my co-defendant that actually had the jury, the District Attorney Jackie Johnson indicted, where we petitioned and addressed the grand jury and had her arrested. And because of that, we went after a judge in this. Now we are facing 10 years in prison because we took a lawful warrant out on the judge to use the petition of the grand jury, and they reversed the charges and had the grand jury special presentment and indict us for falsifying document, which is a felony that carries 10 years in prison. So basically, my run for the NAACP state president, I've talked to several other state presidents, North Carolina state president, and my whole thing is the election is October the 7th at the conference in Georgia. It'll be at a state conference. You can't vote unless you're a member of a local branch that's in good standing and you are appointed as a delegate, but that's a long story. But anyway, my plan is to go after prison reform, making prison and parole, making parole and probation a right, not a privilege. This will depreciate the overcrowding of prisons. This will depreciate the murders and killings and the understaffs in all the prisons. And hopefully all the states will catch on board and start doing the same. And then police accountability. Police accountability and government accountability is the most important thing. One of the most important things, because until we start having accountability at the lower level, then there will never be accountability at the higher level. Meaning, when police officers are speeding, you need to track them. You get their vehicle number. You need to find out where they was at. You need to report them, and you need to record them or videotape them. Police cannot speed. That is unlawful. And started getting these people ticked. I done got 60 citations against police officers by doing what I'm doing at speeding. If you see a police officer in your state speeding, you get his tag number. If you can't know exactly how fast he's going, you estimate it, and you call it complaining, and you demand that they give him a ticket. And my legislation is to make sure they put in the state of Georgia that every police officer, local and state level, that every law enforcement officer have tracking devices on their vehicles to track their speed. And when they're speeding, they get tickets, and if they continue to get tickets and speeding, then their ass is fired. That's right. Yes. Well, the thing about it, and let's put it this way, and let me tell you how to get a hold of somebody want to question me. You can call me or text me. My number is 912-424-0752. And just Google my name, all that, all that to come. You'll find me in there somewhere on the internet. I'm on it. But then to telling everybody, one of our most powerful thing is the petition of the grand jury. We have to understand, as we being members of the grand jury, your power. No authority when in session. There's no authority, not the judge, not the prosecutor, not no one authority, not even the governor or the president has authority over the grand jury when they are in session. That is the power that you need to know. The prosecutors are only there to inform you of what the law says. But you make the authentic decision as a grand jury. You have the power to tell the judge to shut up. You have the power to tell the prosecutor to get out. That is the power when you become a grand jury member. Somebody like me will never be on the grand jury because it'll be a lot of people going to jail. Yeah. Are you familiar? Are you familiar what happened recently? I'm talking about in Atlanta. Huh? Well, a radio personality, what's her name? Went to I can't think of her name right now, but she went to, her name is Darlene. Yeah. Yeah, she went to that play, yeah, and the guy, he told her name, the guy, she wrote Darky on the receipt. Well, she got an attorney. She got an attorney. I don't know what they're gonna do. So, but I seen it, I believe in show and tell. All that showing up and having them I dream speeches and all that, it don't mean nothing until when you put that ink pen on them. When I see an ink pen moving and some paperwork filed, then I believe on it. All that other stuff, to me, ain't nothing but propaganda. They ain't did nothing. Getting up there with their little suits on to talking about this and that, the injustice and all that. Stop all that injustice. We looking into it. Don't look into it. Put that paperwork on it. What do you need to look on when it's on the receipt? Darky. What you got to look at? Man, get out of here, man. That's that pretending mess I'm talking about. Yes. Yes.
Blessings. I'm beautiful. How are you? How you doing, brother man?
Hey, what's going on, bro?
Living life. Of course. You want me to show you?
Hey, Leslie got one of them Telsa. I said, Leslie got one of them Telsas.
Not yet. first and foremost, I want to thank everybody for supporting your channel and continue to support Cody Speaks, news, facts, and comments. This sister really pushing what's needed in our community, and that's just real talk. But I've been liking the sister, her music, her acting abilities, very talented, her writing and what have you. You know, the sister is devastating. But since the LGBTQ community took off, you know, and she came out not wanting to be described as no particular gender, right? She was the pushing, you know, the thing about women rights and women being able to be free to do whatever they want. And most of it, I agree with her, right? But what bothered me the most was the fact that there's a certain narrative she's painting about if a man won't be with a man or a woman won't be with a woman, that it's wrong for society to condemn it. And my whole issue was we've been raised a certain kind of way, you know, under scripture, as well as just knowing um, that a man and woman can produce fruits, can be plentiful, versus you know a man and two men and two women can't, right? And I mean I can't knock nobody. They want to be whoever they want to be with and be whatever they want to be. But I just told you to check it out because when she was on Breakfast Club and a few other platforms, she was pushing this very heavy about not putting labels on things and the same sex thing and people doing what they want and what have you. Some of it I do agree with, but it just bothers me because these are narratives that's really affecting our community. And I watched two sisters on the podcast say that, you know, and they were challenging her, right? And they were saying that we're black first and then whatever, right? And they said we have all these different narratives going on, right? You know, that it takes you away from your essence of who you are and what your struggle is all about, right? Now it's not about just black, it's black and gay and all of that and other. So for me, I was just concerned. I felt like we definitely should talk about it because our young people have been exposed in such a way that we never, I apologize for the noise in the background of the GPS. We've never seen it so prevalent in our home, straight in our face. Even though I had an uncle who was I'm gonna say transsexual. I never seen him like a man. He always, I'm talking about from a baby to up until he died when I was in my 40s, still looking like, you know, he was the titties and all that, you know, looking like a woman, you know, wigs and all that, right? So for me, I seen it though, but now it's like you hear about it everywhere. And it's become the thing where our young people whose mind is really developed is being exposed to it. So for me, I felt like, and we need to talk about this ASAP. We need to try to clear the smoke and whatever. So that's all I wanted to say about the sister. But as for her, I love her. She's a beautiful person, but there are some concerns I have about her. No, it's just a facet. It's just a fancy term. Like right now, man, like people are really just wilding out. They don't. I don't think it's even about the moral system anymore. Even it's not even about the rules and what have you, guidelines. I mean, people just live in a certain kind of way, and if and that's where that's why I guess that's why you need laws, you need rules, you need all this stuff because people be out of trouble. There'll be mayhem, right? And I'm not gonna lie, I understand how women have been undervalued, disrespected, treated inhumane. I'm not even say that hasn't been a fact, right? But I'm saying though, even with the LGBTQ community, but the extreme they will go to, you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of vengeance out there too towards, men in general. So it is a lot of vindictiveness, a lot of reactions that's kind of crazy. But that term I never heard. I don't want to call it crazy because I understand the anger, but my thing is I just feel like right now, people use different terminology and different things just to basically I guess become unglued about the subject, just be just raw about everything. And I'm like, I welcome the conversation. I just don't think it's rational sometimes to make certain conclusions that's not really fair when you're not looking at the whole picture. You're just looking at it from the standpoint of feeling like you've been violated and you've been through something in your life that now you want to just tag the whole idea of just being a man and woman and production and whatnot. And they may not be saying it verbally, but like indirectly.
Yes. You there? Hello? Hello? Yes. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, to each his own. They let them do it. But legally and lawfully, really, a woman can actually walk around topless. You got women. Some women they breastfeed in public. So I mean, lawfully, you can't. A woman can't walk around topless if she wants to, just like a man. No, it's not. Google it. They can. It's actually women that do that. A woman can actually walk around bare chested, just like a man. You got women that feed. I know a woman that breastfeed her baby in the park, all hanging out. Well, they wouldn't call that indecent exposure unless you were butt naked, but topless, yeah. You look at it. The way the law is written, men walk around too with their shirts off. So, I mean, they still exposed. They ain't got breasts like women, but some of them do. But I'm just saying. But anyway, yeah, it's lawful. You can actually walk around. They can walk around bare chested. But you talking about Erica DeBoo when she you talking about Erica DeBoo when she made a video walking down the road naked? Oh, uh-huh. No, I know who she is, but what did she say? I didn't know what she said though. Mm-hmm. What? Yes. No, I heard you say yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So first of all, let me tell y'all in the past, Essence has been like the Frankie Beverly oldie but goodie white linen night for the old folks. Here's the thing. It was the 50th anniversary of hip hop at Essence this year. So India Irie was at Essence and she had some opinions about Meg Thee Stallion and Janelle Monáe. This is what she said. The issue is, what is context? Humanity does everything, but does everything belong in a stage? No. Actually, the world is a stage. So the idea that everything doesn't belong in a stage, like those performances that were happening, shaking ass and stuff, where else should that happen?
No. No.
Should that only be happening in dark, dank strip clubs or something like that, India? India is one of those women that I feel like because you experience your femininity a certain way, you feel like everybody else should express their femininity the way you express yours. And you grew up in the respectability politics mindset that whenever a woman is scantily clad or showing her body or gyrating, that she must be doing so for the attention of some basic level. Now, what I would like everybody to graduate in their mindset is that women are beautiful. Women know they're beautiful. They like their bodies. And people from New Orleans really like to shake their, and they'll shake anywhere.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, go ahead. I'll let y'all respond, but I don't agree with what she just said. Because
Yeah, I heard. I mean, you know, we from New Orleans. You're not from New Orleans, so we know what she's talking about. But that's the problem right there, right? We seen older people, we seen young adults and babies do that. And what's so sad is I understand from the mother, I understand from motherland traditional way we danced and did certain things and what have you. I'm not even against that. What I don't like is the fact that
New Orleans has been through so much in reference to Black people suffering, right? And the situation, social, politically, economically, has definitely suffered against us. And for her to put emphasis on something like that, knowing that a lot of time that dance can become very derogatory, it can appear to be very derogatory, very ratchet, and what have you. I understand we have an audience and we have people that like that, but what kind of message we send into our people? You know what I'm saying? And the community that's suffering, that you're gonna do is shake your ass, cut up, do this, that, and other, when there's some real stuff on your community that you're not addressing, that you don't care to address. You know, I think there's a time and place for everything, but to me, and I'm born and raised from New Orleans, I never really liked it that. You know what I'm saying? I never, especially not seeing like kids doing it. Sometimes it can be funny. You're not gonna be looking like, oh, you know, you see somebody as attractive, you might even, you know, look at it a certain kind of way and be like, man, she look good, whatever. But in the end, it looked ratchet, bro. And that's those narratives that we accept as a people, we run with. And unfortunately, New Orleans, that's a bad narrative, because it's cool everywhere. New Orleans people go, they're gonna share that that way how we dance and how we dance in New Orleans and this, that, and other. I didn't see them stop, you know, in the middle of the street and just cut up the land. You know what I'm saying? And some of it can be fun. You know what I'm saying? It don't gotta be as bad. But overall, the narrative of it is sad. You know, and for her to just NARE because she said that Essence is losing, and I'm paraphrasing, their identity, why Essence was created, you know what I'm saying, for beautiful melanated women, you know what I'm saying, and address how empowered Black women are and successful and how great they are, been doing it down to that, you know, whereas now they're trying to kid, because they said, I don't know the guy, he's a young guy, 29, he's a VP or whatever, over Essence. He's trying to cater to the young crowd, right? And that will come with it. So you got the older people that's coming watch a certain certain entertainers and, you know, being a certain kind of setting and being mixed up with the, you know, the younger people would have it. So it's a conflict, and I understand that they're trying to serve both audience, but at the same time, it's taken away from the essence of what it's all about. And that's what I seen with NARE said. And it was just opinion, you know, just like the lady from the lady from North, that was her opinion. And the day, I just feel like that need to be discussed more. That's all. We just need to have an intelligent conversation about it. NBC, intelligent conversation about it where we can really come to some kind of understanding, because the situation NRE took a lot of attention from what she really was saying, and people want to focus on the debate about it, whether they try discussing why she said what she said and whatnot, you know, because BT, I mean, Essence not even on. I don't even believe about blacks anymore, so water right now. They're not even on about blacks, I believe. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna close just saying that, man. And I think discussion needs to be had in our community, point blank, about our struggles with identifying what's real and what's not. You know, what's healthy and what's not. You know, but I always feel each to each his own. That's what makes people happy. That's what they want to do in the midst of their struggles. What's up? If listen to their struggles, then hey, you know, but we got some real stuff going on in Tucker. And for us to be entertaining stuff like that and dealing with that in our community is just sad. Say it again. Love, togetherness, and a real focus, genuine focus to clean up our community. Me personally, I listened to by word talk about the Constitution is for the people that have. Yeah, for them, not really for us. We made it fit us. When I was in prison, I took their law and threw in their face to get my time back. That's what Thurgood Marshall did. When they was talking about serving equal and all that stuff, they was trying to Scott case, whatever. He said, okay, it can be something cool. He said, well, the same thing you do for white schools, you do for black schools, right? He used reverse psychology, and that's how he won the board education versus Topeka, Kansas versus Old Texas versus Brown. He won the case in 1954. But we've been taking these laws and using the laws against it for the longest. The problem is when you go against that machine, eventually, you know what I'm saying, the true segregation, the true Jim Crow, the true racism will always come out. You know what I'm saying? That we never was supposed to be in a position where we in right now, even though we still struggling. It wasn't a matter to get this far. You know what I'm saying? As divided we are, we still are, making we making progress. It's just not the progress we looking for. All these moves, my self-determination, being on this, that, and other. In my opinion, we gotta learn from the MLKs, the Marcus Garveys, the Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad. A lot of it was grassroots. I grew up by it. We get in front of the camera too much and we talk too much. When you have even when you look at the different revolutions around the world, right? These are underground revolutions that took surface. A lot of people trying to create a revolution on social media don't know what they're doing. And it always backfires. You know what I'm saying? Some people, the ego is too big. They're narcissists. They're big mouth. They don't listen. They think they know everything. You're not accomplishing nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta shut up and you gotta do like Henry Ford did, right? Henry Ford see a reporter, right? Because on the reporter said he was dumb and stupid. He was dumb and stupid, and he was ignorant, like uneducated, and that he had people do everything for him. And he sued him. He said, "Why should I have to learn anything when I could just push a button and tell somebody to do something?" So he was ingenious enough to know one thing. Once he created the idea, he just got to put the master team together. And Napoleon Hill talked about the book Think and Grow Rich was in that book right there, right? So if you call yourself a leader or what have you, it's not you that get the job. You get the people get the job done for you. A true leader, like he says, a follower first. He don't lead, follow first. You listen to the people, what have you, and then he put together his plan. Of course, there's gonna be some politics involved here and there. Sometimes you may have to flex your muscle, but in the day, that should be the goal. And I feel like building our community is gonna be solely on us. I told you once before. The question was, Cody, why haven't black people been able to get reparation? Haven't been able to accomplish self-determination? One thing, we have not been able to come together. Point blank, we were to come together, it'll be more easy to accomplish whatever because they see the powers in numbers. But we too egotistical. Soon we learn this something go down with here. And it's just crazy, man. Like they can come together to plot to take over youth, and they can be beef. They can come together and take over after, right? We beef. We don't come together to deal with them. We stay beefing, and it just tears apart. This social media stuff, this camera is a threat and detriment to a lot of that don't know what we're doing. We don't understand. We playing within their playground, and there's rules you gotta play by. But until you understand, if you're not learning from all the other groups that, I'm sorry, what you about to say? Let's let's best going about the phone, the vegan pad, and the small salad on the side. Let me stop you right there. Hold on. I'm gonna let Bobby Word speak. I gotta order something right quick. Hold on.
Well, you know what she said to me was some part was good, but other part was ignorance. I don't see this lady. I don't agree with the way she dressed, and most men probably wouldn't disagree with it. No way, you know. But I mean, it is what it is. Nobody said nothing about when Donna was coming on stage naked. All this here. Nobody said nothing about Nas, little Nas X with his gay behind coming on stage dressed like a woman, and all that our children is showing and following Nas. This is what our children follow. A faggot, excuse my language, that he's performing and they loving him. But this lady come out showing her breasts, which she can do legally and lawfully. She can walk around in the park showing her titties, and then in the Aubrey got something to say, and then this girl got something to say, and her speech was ignorance, because you're not, just like he just said, we're not taking the issues. All that shit y'all talking about ain't had nothing with doing but making a betterment of our people, our government, or making better for us as a people, or attacking the stuff that we need to be attacking. And just like I said, all that stuff that happened at the Essence War with what's the other girl? What was the other girl you mentioned? I don't follow rap. Meg Thee Stallion. Meg Thee Stallion is one of the #1 promoters that do this, the gang sign, that our little girls are doing, is getting locked up for. So she is not part of she's a part of the problem. She is the one that I'm the B that you don't want to mess with. I'm the H. We're in such a deep mental state of slavery when we can say to my brother and sister the N-words, and then our brothers and sisters accept it as words of honor and respect. Not only accept it, that women accept being called B's and H's. They're calling themselves the B, like Megan Thee Stallion. Oh, I'm the B you don't want to mess with. I'm that H you don't know nothing about. Really? Serious mental state of slavery. They are the ones that's destroying our community. And I go back to the main thing. If we want to change, the body cannot make change. Gathering together is not going to make change. This got to change first, because wherever this is at, this is where the body is going to follow. We have to change the conditions of our mind. And until we change that, black folks or white folks or nobody is never going to make a change in this world until we change the mindset. And the core thing that is destroying the mindset of our people, and now it's filtering into the white people, is the rap music. Rap music promotes everything that is destroying all the black community. Weed, drugs, and sex, and killing and murder. All this is promoted, and our children 3 and 4 years old is listening to this. By the time they get 8 and 9 years old, they are too far gone to change. I hear my grandson one day, he playing the game, and all of a sudden, he's 7 years old. I hear him yell, "B" out loud. And then my son, he get mad. I said, you can't get mad because you're doing the same thing you do. He's going to be a reflection and repeat the habits of you. Everything that we do in front of us, our children are going to be a reflection of us. And that's why I said it's our human nature in this world that guides us. It's not our faith. It's not our love. It is our human nature. It is our human nature that will put us and our family, even your children, at risk for our own ignorance. You got people going on Facebook. Yes. But believe me, yeah, it's fine, and you're right. But all that is done. The core behind all that is rap music. Everything that happened on that stage is the core behind it is rap music. It is destroying our children. Now listen, just like this, if in fact God is real, whatever your religion is, if in fact God is real, under this saying this, everything under the sun that God made, that lives and breathes, conforms to what it's supposed to. A tree does what it's supposed to. A bird, the fishes, the bugs, the ants, the snakes, all things that creepy crawling, that fly, that swim, conforms to what the purpose it was supposed to be. And if in fact God is real, the Bible is true, what was his greatest creation is his works creation, man, human. Because everything conforms to what it's supposed to be conforming to except humans, us, we. And if in fact God is mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. But you, yeah, because yeah, that's why, because the gate, because that's what's in now. But listen, let me listen, and I hate to say this, but you can thank your first black president for all these gay rights. You can definitely thank your first black president for all these gay rights. Gay people coming out. Listen, I ain't conforming. I don't want to say this, but like my daughter has went that way, and she and I told her, listen, don't understand this. I still love you for who you are, but I will not support your actions as sleeping with another woman. Not going to happen. And if you ever, if she knows it, if you ever decide to get married to a woman, daddy's not going to be there. If daddy come, it's going to be some furniture moving. I assure you, because I will not give my child away to another woman. Not going to happen. So, but anyway, she going to be mad at me for saying that. Exactly. Mhm. Exactly. I know. Yeah. Yeah. But listen. And listen to this. And this is within my own family as well. You got children, 12, 11, 13, 14-year-old little girls walking around with their butt cheeks hanging out. And the moms and dads are okay with it. Exactly. It's the mental state of slavery. And then you're not mentioning, not to mention that what you're doing is promoting, you're promoting her sexual act, and it will end up eventually, she might get tried by an adult. All these pedophiles. Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's rap music. That's what it is. They emanating what you just said, what they see. They see all the girls in rap music shaking and twerking, little girls on Facebook doing this, and we as adults, and this Tyler Perry, I don't agree with how Tyler Perry do things, but the boy say some real stuff in his plays, his movies. And he said, there's no big mamas no more. There is no big mamas. And then when I grew up, I could watch, we had chores. We had to wash dishes. We always had to clean our own room. We had to do the living room. We had to do the bathroom. Always had, and we went to bed every night at the same time. And I put this recently on my Facebook to show people what happens when you allow your children to raise themselves and do whatever they want to do. And this is happening all over the world, even from within my own family. I tell people all the time that if you don't care enough to understand when someone is trying to teach you how to make your child or their family member a better individual, but instead your human nature overrules all that. You are comfortable with them we give children what they want, not what they need. And that is our problem. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. If everybody dressed alike. And that's what I tell people all the time. I tell them that. Yeah, I tell them all the time. You can't be a best parent and a best friend to your child at the same time. One of them gonna overrule. That's like when my daughter was little, all that back talking that you see kids do. When the mama talking to them, they folded their hands and all that. Oh no, we didn't play that. When an adult talking, shut up and listen. Instead, you allow your children to just talk back out and just go back in a little argument instead of slapping the hell out of their ass. That's what would happen to me when I was little. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's it. And go back to what I said. It's your human nature. Like I told my daughter, listen, I don't want you to be like me. I don't want you to be like your mom. I want you to exceed us in life. I want you to be the better version of us. If you're not teaching your children to be the better version of you, or to be the best that she can be, or he can be, then you are defeating the purpose. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. We got to start with sanctioning rap music, or if we can't get the governments to sanction rap music, is be a better parent and not play that type of music, or not allow your children to ever hear that type of music till they reach a certain age. and, and with their pants hanging down. And the pants hanging down the butt, showing their dirty old drawers. If I see one more man with a throwback jersey, if I see another 60 over 60 with another throwback jersey on and his pants hanging down, showing his dusty underwear from 1960, I'm just gonna scream. State of Georgia, for the whole state, yeah. Yes. Peace.